Hello, my name is host Eric. I'm the host of Talking with Famous People. And tonight I would like to discuss the difference between encouragement and promotion. Functionally, there's no difference, but I made a distinction between the terms arbitrarily saying that promotion is successful encouragement. Now, the semantics of the matter, whether or not that's how we should define promotion and encouragement, are totally meaningless and irrelevant. What matters a little bit, though, which is interesting, is the notion that one can encourage counterproductively, and one can also encourage productively. What makes the difference? Well, if there's any proof of an almighty God, it is the fact that in our universe, the strongest argument is true. The strongest argument is indistinguishable from the truth. The reason for this, it's an emergent function of grammar. Grammar necessitates that we have a truth value for a statement. The reason for this is because for a name to mean something is for us to say, these are those things that are not that name. It is a definition by exclusion, not by attribute as we often think of it. When we look at the dictionary definition, we might see attributes listed. What is a cat? It is a mammal, and it is furry, and it says meow, and all that other stuff. But on a machine code level, we're only understanding the definition of a cat by understanding that which is not subject to that name. So, what does this have to do with encouragement and promotion? Well, my core position is that even hate speech is good to have in the marketplace of ideas. Hate speech, like virulent racism, for example. I'll tell you exactly why. When I made friends with the racist guy on Facebook, who posts all kinds of crazy nonsense, one might say that I was doing something bad, or I don't know. But what I ended up doing was engaging in discourse with him about his beliefs. And not in an attacky way. I walked into the conversation assuming he's a cool person. Who cares what the fuck he says? Has he actually initiated violence? Is he advocating in favor of violence in a way that suggests a call to action? Okay, then I might have some exceptions with it. Certainly he's not. He's saying a bunch of stupid anti-black racist stereotype stuff. So, anyway, I engaged in discourse about this, trying to figure out exactly what basically the psychology behind it was. And he's a smart guy. He's a really smart guy. He's a really good writer, effective communicator, and had no idea what was coming down the highway at him, right? Again, he did was he made some claims or some statements, and I asked some questions about them, and began to parse his answers, and he retreated to, I'm not a debater. I don't. Well, fine. Now, has his behavior been changed by that exchange with me? Yeah, it has. He still posts racist shit, but I'm aware of how the certain things he doesn't say anymore, and certain things he does still say. And he knows that I'm his Facebook friend. And that unlike the rah-rah racial cheerleader friends of his, I'm not afraid to call bullshit on something if it rubs me the wrong way. Now, I absolutely do not spend my time engaging in Facebook battle with him about his racist posts. I don't ever comment on him at all. I don't have anything to say about him. When I had that discourse with him, it was over private message. Once I ascertained that he was a regular human being like you or me, except he was making poor rhetorical choices. There were a couple of times when I basically tried to tell him, from a pragmatic angle, I really don't know why. You have a lot of talent here. Why are you directing it in such a low impact way? That's a much more effective way to impact somebody than isolating them. When I say encouragement can be turned, I mean encouragement can be turned. The turn is the thing that people do not account for when they're thinking about whether or not hate speech should be stopped or encouraged. Well, I mean, by encouraged, I mean not encouraged, but not not fiddled with. Because to the extent that somebody voices bad arguments, there's always somebody there to shoot them down. And the turn won't happen if they don't make the bad argument. You have to encourage people to voice what they really believe and think. It's the only way they'll ever reevaluate whether what they really believe and think is worth believing and thinking. The bad arguments, and hate speech is certainly a terrible argument, the bad arguments lose. They lose because they're bad arguments. They lose because God granted us the turn. The turn is truth's way of always winning.